Hello everyone and welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. My name is Stefan. Thank you for coming to the channel. The last time I filmed this 135 gallon freshwater display tank, I had some screw ups with the software I was trying and uploaded in lower definition, so the resolution sucked and I got a lot of complaints, understandably so, and I'm doing it again. So we're back at the display, and this time I'm not going to make the same mistake. The aquarium was never culpable. It was yours truly. I've been very pleased with the overall quality and health of everything that's in this fish tank. I did have some problems a few months ago with a parasite that had particularly impacted a couple of my angelfish, but because of the wonder drug levamisole, I was able to solve that heinous worm problem. So enough said about the negative. Let's talk about the positive. Where to begin? Where to begin? Well, with the creatures, of course. The opaline gourami. I had talked about it in my failed video, even though I begrudge the species as just being kind of gray, blue, silver. Nothing wrong with gray, blue, silver, but compared to other fish in this aquarium, I always thought it was kind of more just, I don't know, a big dumb fish. Well, I'm a big dumb fish tuber because most people, when they come up to this aquarium, they gravitate right to that fish. And my original assessment of the opaline or blue gourami is flawed because it holds a inspiration for the majority of people who come and look at this aquarium. And this aquarium includes beautiful specimens of angelfish. There you see a classic silver, and there's a black lace, a veal, I think. And I've got a huge veal tail angelfish right here. This is one of the ones that was sick and now happily not sick. You see the Bosemani rainbow fish, those are males with the the flame colored back section. The underrated dwarf neon rainbow fish, very common, very easy to keep, affordable, and they stay small, right? Unlike these bluegill, these panfish-sized millennium rainbow fish. But how beautiful is that? And what a fascinating shape. You know, people just get used to this interesting and iconic shape. I mean, that small little head, that snout with the massive body. It's like something a child would draw, right? When they're trying to draw like fish and they sort of only get it part right. Well, maybe they know something we grown-ups don't, because these millennium rainbow fish look just like that, look just like a kid's drawing, and they're fat, and they're colored that way too. Like, give me the red crayon, everything's red. Well, so are they. Full on, full stop, maroon red rust. Love it, love it, love it. The black molly with a little bit of gold dust, and then another black molly. I didn't put these fish in here to grow up and be residents. I put them in as teeny tiny fry to be eaten by the angelfish and rainbow fish, and a vast majority were, but not those two. I had purchased these gorgeous veal tails, sword tails at a swap, so those weren't ever put in here to be eaten. But the black mollies were, but they had other ideas, and you know what? They helped me clean the algae. They add sort of a nice touch of just jet black. I mean, jet black, is a great, great color. If black or white is a color, it's fabulous. Just think about the iconic nature of the black dress or the black tuxedo. You can't go wrong. And now that we're talking about it, you see, even from a distance, that midnight black pops against all this color. This is dwarf tiger lotus. I need to probably trim some of these petals. I'm just hesitant to do that. I'm waiting for the first few to make it to the top, and then I would consider cutting those because they would compete heavily with all the water lettuce. And I want as much light as I can get through into this aquarium, because more light brings out more colors. But I'm never gonna not have floating plants, because it's well worth some of the shade on account of how they help keep this very, very, very heavily stocked aquarium clean and healthy. If you're gonna have a lot of fish, you gotta have a lot of plants. It's as important as your filtration. When you're overstocking, and argue by any measure this is overstocked, even for 135 gallons. And I have a really nifty sump below, but still live plants. I've got a bunch of ancestrous catfish in here, bushy nose plecostomus. Looks like a young male super red right there. And that looks like an albino, and that's a lemon blue eye. You see the difference? It's the eye color. Lemon blue eye pleco, albino pleco. Very, very similar, but the eyes are a usual giveaway. I've got baby plecostomus in here. I'm not sure who the parents were. The babies that I am seeing, and hopefully I'll find one for you, are more standard. I can't tell if they're longfin yet. I'm gonna find one right there. I just saw it escape underneath these Bolivian rams. Darn it. Anyway, I have a few juvenile plecostomus that grew up in this tank. Somehow, some way, a couple of the adults spawned, no doubt, in the nooks and crannies of this intense and deep and wide hardscape feature. Isn't that cool how the sword, this is just how you draw it up. That sword plant is right in the center. Boom, like a firework coming out of the bogwood and the Sirius stone. And this is what I imagined when I set this up. But imagine, it took a while to get here. I had many issues in the early going. But with patience, perseverance, and learning some lessons the hard way, and also with the help, the much softer, gentler way, with the help of friendly fish keepers and fish tubers, I finally got this aquarium dialed in. Hello, angelfish. I have Bucephalandra in here. This is my healthiest bunch right there. It's a couple different species. And I've got a lot of Anubias now firmly attached to the bogwood. It's sporting a little bit of green dot algae, but this is that's what you get in an ecosystem. It's very manageable. Algae, knock on wood, has not been my issue in this aquarium. Certain fish ailments have, but I'm feeling pretty good about everything right now. There's a couple mystery snails, 1 and 2. I haven't seen their egg cases up at the top where they would lay them. It would be right above the water line. In the early going, I did see a number of them, egg cases, and I tried to raise them and I didn't succeed. But now I know how to do it if I wanted to. But honestly, I don't have a place to put 20, 30, 40 mystery snails. I have 5 or 6 in here already. There's a big gold one right here. The amazing thing about a mystery snail is, for being so big relative to snails and being a slug with a shell on it, they're somehow angelic and graceful. It's a wonderful contrast, like sweet and sour, or yin and yang. You know, you wouldn't think anything would be more ugly or awkward than a big snail, and you would be wrong, because They're just lovely. All right. There's a juvenile. That's about 1.5 inches long, that Plecostomus, and I didn't put any in here. And it looks like a standard. I mean, it's pretty. It'd be nicer if it was a super red, maybe. But he and some brothers and sisters are in here. I have no idea how many. Only time will tell. Harlequin rasboras, they tend to favor this side of the aquarium in the jungle veil. What a fabulous schooling fish. And then behind them you see the cardinal tetras. So those are, I've got about a dozen of each, maybe 15 of each. And nobody bothers them and they don't bother anybody. As a matter of fact, it's been a long time since I've noticed any aggression. Not with these gouramis, somewhat known for it. Not with these angelfish, definitely known for it. And not with conspecific male rainbows, sometimes known for it. The only time I've had any issue, and it's long since passed, is with a couple Siamese algae eaters. One was chasing fish around, getting after their slime coat or their fins. Luckily, I was able to trap him, and I put him down in the sump, and he's living his best life in the sump, free to engage with all the algae he wants down there. And I know he's alive and well because I see him whenever I work on the sump, whenever I do a water change or change some sponge filter media. Got a lot of Coreodoras in here. These look like the most common, and I think I picked up a few of these at a swap or in a trade, but I also have Adelphite Coreodora. My eye is looking up. He's scattered in the back. And I also have Sterbite Coreodora. There's an Adelphi right there with the yellow on its saddle. Picking around with the Bolivian ram and the super red. There's another super red. Boom. Those fish can be aggressive, but I haven't seen it in this tank. And I haven't seen any uprooting of plants or any of that stuff that people say Plecostomus will do. Oh, they'll dig up your plants and they'll screw up your aquascape. I haven't had that problem. Now, granted, they weren't the first fish I put in, and when I did put them in, I put them in small. So those factors are definitely relevant to why by the time the plants and the hardscape sort of got established and these fish got bigger, maybe it was too late for them to do any sort of uprooting, any damages like that. I think this rainbow fish right here is a baby that grew up. It could be a female dwarf neon rainbow fish. They do have the yellow as opposed to the males with the red. But something about this fish looks smaller and different than all the others in here. That guy. Nothing special, but if it was a spawn that somehow survived the way those Plecostomus did, that would be awesome. So does anyone have any questions or comments? Hit me up. Let's talk about this display tank. It's my pride and joy. It's the mother of all my fish tanks. And I'd love to hear from you. As always, everyone, keep your hands in the tank, and ciao for now.